Amelia Foster walked down the quiet hallway of Lunar Base Epsilon. The lights were dimmed to save power during the night cycle. She was not supposed to be here. Today was her 32nd birthday, but she was not celebrating. Instead, she was about to break into a place where she could lose her job or worse, go to jail. Amelia worked as a xenobiologist. That meant she studied life forms that might exist beyond Earth. For most of her career, this had been just theory. But 3 weeks ago, everything changed. A ship had been caught in the Kuiper Belt far out in our solar system. It was not a human ship. The military took it to the moon base where Amelia worked. They put it in Section 7, a place where only Admiral Voss and her special team could go. Amelia might have just wondered about it like everyone else did. But then she heard the crying. It happened late one night as she worked in her lab. A strange sound came through the air vents. It was like music, but sad. Very sad. It was not a human sound. Amelia had studied possible alien life for 20 years. She knew this was the sound of a living thing in pain. For days she tried to ignore it. She told herself it was not her business. But each night the crying came again. Sometimes it stopped for hours, then started again, more desperate than before. Tonight, Amelia could not take it anymore. She used her maintenance code to open the first door to Section 7. She was just going to look, she told herself, just to make sure everything was okay. The code worked. Amelia slipped through the door and into a long white hallway. She had 16 minutes before the security system would notice she was somewhere she should not be. She moved quickly, following the sound. It led her to a door marked Containment Chamber 3. Amelia took a deep breath and looked through the small window in the door. What she saw made her gasp. Inside was a tall being with skin that glowed like the northern lights. The colors moved across its body in waves, blue, green, and purple. It had 2 arms and 2 legs, but was much taller than a human. Its face had 2 large eyes that shined with a soft light. The alien stood against a clear wall. On the other side of that wall was a smaller version of itself, the baby. Around the baby were 5 humans in white suits. They were putting needles in the small alien and attaching wires to its glowing skin. The baby's cry was what Amelia had heard. It was like bells and wind and sadness all mixed together. The mother, Amelia was sure it was the mother, had her 6-fingered hands pressed against the clear wall. The colors on her skin moved fast, like she was trying to speak to her child. When Amelia's hand touched the door, the alien mother turned. Their eyes met. In that moment, Amelia felt something she had never felt before. It was like the alien was speaking directly to her mind, not with words but with feelings, fear, love for her child. And a question, will you help us? Amelia knew she had only minutes before she would be caught. She had to make a choice right now. Help them and become a criminal, or walk away and let this continue. The alien mother's eyes were filled with the same thing Amelia would see in any human mother's eyes. Love and fear for her child. Amelia made her choice. She used her code to open the door and stepped inside. The alien mother's skin flashed with surprise. She moved back, protecting herself. "I won't hurt you," Amelia said softly. She put her hands up to show she had no weapons. "I want to help." The alien's skin changed color again, from fearful purple to a cautious blue. She pointed to her baby on the other side of the wall. Amelia nodded. "Yes, I'll help your baby too. But not tonight. I need to make a plan." The alien seemed to understand. Her skin showed patterns that looked like questions. Amelia pointed to herself. "Amelia." Then she pointed to the alien. The alien's skin formed a pattern that looked like stars. She touched her chest. "Lyra," Amelia guessed, thinking of the star pattern. The alien's skin flashed bright like a yes. Amelia checked her watch. She had only 7 minutes left. "I'll come back tomorrow night. We'll get you both out. I promise." As she turned to leave, Lyra touched her arm. A feeling like a gentle electric shock passed between them, but it didn't hurt. Instead, Amelia saw images in her mind. Stars, ships, and beings like Lyra. A whole civilization. "You're home," Amelia whispered. Lyra's skin glowed warm gold in response. The next day, Amelia walked into the research lounge where her mentor, Dr. Tara Maxwell, was drinking coffee. Tara had been Amelia's teacher and the reason Amelia became a xenobiologist. "Morning," Amelia said, trying to sound normal. "Is it true what they're saying about the Kuiper Belt discovery?" Tara's face grew serious. "You know I can't talk about classified things, Amelia." But if we did find aliens, Amelia said carefully, wouldn't the first contact rule say we should talk to them, not study them like animals? Tara looked around to make sure no one could hear them. Sometimes safety is more important than being nice, Amelia. Especially if the aliens might be dangerous. How could a baby be dangerous? Amelia said before she could stop herself. Tara's eyes got wide. What did you see? She whispered. Amelia knew she had said too much. Nothing. I was just asking, but it was too late. Tara's face had changed. She stood up quickly. I have a meeting, she said, and walked away. That night, Amelia couldn't sleep. She kept seeing Lyra's eyes and her baby's small form with all those wires attached to it. She knew what she had to do, even if it meant the end of her career, even if it meant breaking every law and rule she had promised to follow. Tomorrow night, she would free them both or die trying. The next morning, Amelia walked into her lab and found 2 security officers waiting for her. Their faces were hard and cold. Dr. Foster, your security clearance has been revoked. Please come with us, said the taller officer. Amelia's heart sank. Tara had reported her. As the officers led her away, she saw Tara entering Admiral Voss's office. Tara did not look at Amelia. They took Amelia to a small room with 1 table and 2 chairs. It was a cell, though they did not call it that. The door locked behind her. For hours, Amelia sat alone. She thought about Lyra and her baby still trapped. She had failed them before she even tried to help. The door opened, and a woman Amelia barely knew walked in. Her name tag said Lisa Chen, Communications Technician. Lisa was small with short black hair and quick eyes. She carried a tray with food and water. You have 15 minutes to eat, Lisa said loudly. Then she leaned close and whispered, They're watching but can't hear us. Take this. Lisa slipped something small into Amelia's hand. It was a data chip. Why help me? Amelia whispered back. I work in communications. I hear everything, Lisa said quietly. I've been listening to those 2 for weeks. What they're doing isn't right. She stood up straight again. I'll be back for the tray. When Lisa left, Amelia quickly looked at the chip. It had maps of the base, guard schedules, and access codes. Everything she would need to reach Lyra and her baby. That night, Amelia waited until the guard outside her door went to get coffee. Using a trick she learned from the data chip, she short-circuited the lock. The door slid open. The halls were nearly empty at this late hour. Amelia moved quietly, hiding when needed. She made it to Section 7 without being seen. The code from Lisa's chip opened the door to Containment Chamber 3. Lyra was still there, her skin dim with sadness. She brightened when she saw Amelia. I'm getting you both out, Amelia said. She went to the control panel and entered more codes from the chip. The clear wall between Lyra and her baby began to rise. The baby's skin flashed with joy as Lyra rushed to hold her child. The baby was small, about the size of a human 3-year-old with skin that glowed more brightly than Lyra's. We need to hurry, Amelia said. She led them through back halls and service tunnels, following the escape route on the chip. They came to a small hangar with supply shuttles. These ships took things between the moon and Earth. One small shuttle was being loaded with boxes. That's our ride, Amelia whispered. But we need a pilot. You need me, said a voice behind them. Amelia spun around, ready to fight. A woman with dark hair and a scar on her cheek stood there. She wore a pilot's uniform. I'm Olivia Reyes, the woman said. Lisa sent me. I fly the supply routes. Why would you risk your job for us? Amelia asked. Olivia's face hardened. I was military before this job. I saw things during the Mars Rebellion that made me question orders. I was discharged for it. She looked at Lyra and her baby. I still know right from wrong. With Olivia's help, they snuck onto the shuttle between supply boxes. Olivia sealed the cargo door and went to the cockpit. Soon the engines hummed to life. Amelia felt the shuttle lift off. They were leaving the moon base. Lyra sat with her child in her lap. The baby made soft musical sounds now, not crying anymore. Lyra's skin showed patterns of light that seemed to be speech. I wish I could understand you better, Amelia said. Lyra pointed to a tablet in Amelia's pocket. Amelia handed it to her. To Amelia's surprise, Lyra quickly figured out how to use it. Her 6 fingers moved fast over the screen. Lyra found a translation program on the tablet. She studied it, then her skin flashed in new patterns. Words appeared on the screen. Thank you. Save child. Return home. I'll try, Amelia promised. Where is your home? Lyra's skin formed patterns like stars. She pointed up beyond the roof of the shuttle. Olivia called from the cockpit, "We've got trouble. They've noticed the shuttle is off course. They're sending ships after us." Amelia's heart raced. They had only just escaped and already they were being hunted. Lyra stood up, bent under the low ceiling. She moved to a window and looked out at the stars. Her skin flashed with complex patterns. The baby in her arms did the same. Suddenly, all the shuttle's lights went out. Then they came back on. What happened? Amelia called to Olivia. "I don't know," Olivia answered, "but we're not on their radar anymore. It's like we disappeared." Amelia looked at Lyra, who was still staring at the stars. "Did you do that?" Lyra touched Amelia's hand. Again, Amelia felt that strange connection, like electricity but gentle. In her mind, she saw images. Lyra's people using their light patterns to change things, to bend light to hide. "Your people can hide ships," Amelia said, amazed. Lyra's skin flashed what seemed like a yes. "But they'll still look for us at every port and base," Olivia said. "We need somewhere to hide until we figure out what to do next." Amelia thought hard. "I know someone who might help. An expert in alien languages. Her name is Diane Wong. She has a research station on Ceres." Ceres was a dwarf planet in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. It was far from Earth and the Moon. There were some research stations and old mining bases there, but not many people. "Ceres is a long trip in this small shuttle," Olivia warned, "and we don't have much fuel. Can you get us there?" Amelia asked. Olivia nodded slowly. "If your alien friend can keep us hidden, yes." Lyra's skin glowed with understanding. She made more patterns, and the tablet translated, "We'll hide. We'll help. Us protect child." As they flew away from the moon, Amelia wondered what she had gotten herself into. She was now a criminal. She could never go back to her old life. But when she looked at Lyra holding her baby, she knew she had made the right choice. No mother and child should be kept in cages, no matter what planet they came from. The shuttle moved deeper into space, heading for Ceres. Behind them, the lights of pursuing ships searched in the wrong places, unable to see them, for now they were safe. But Amelia knew this was just the beginning of their troubles. The military would never stop looking for them, and she still didn't know why they wanted Lyra and her baby so badly. That was the question that scared her most of all. The small shuttle moved through the dark space between worlds. Inside, Amelia watched Lyra care for her child. The baby alien made soft musical sounds as Lyra's skin glowed with gentle patterns of light. They seemed to be talking to each other without words. "We're halfway to Ceres," Olivia called from the pilot's seat. "But we have a problem. Our oxygen will run low before we get there." Amelia frowned. "Can we go faster?" "If we do, we'll use more fuel." "Then we might not make it at all," Olivia explained. Lyra seemed to understand their worry. She stood up, her tall form bent under the low ceiling. She moved to the shuttle's air system and studied it. Then her skin flashed with bright patterns. She pointed to herself and her child, then to the air vents. The tablet translated her light speech. "We make oxygen." "Help shuttle. You can create oxygen?" Amelia asked, amazed. Lyra's skin flashed what seemed like yes. She opened a panel on the wall and put her hand inside. Her skin glowed bright green. Amelia felt the air become fresher almost immediately. "Whatever she's doing, it's working," Olivia said, checking the shuttle's systems. "Oxygen levels are rising." Amelia smiled at Lyra. "Thank you." Lyra touched Amelia's hand gently. Again, that strange connection formed between them. Amelia saw images in her mind. Lyra's world, a planet with 2 moons and vast oceans that glowed at night. She saw cities built from crystal that captured light, and she saw ships, huge and beautiful, traveling between stars. "Your people have been watching us for a long time, haven't they?" Amelia asked. Lyra's skin formed patterns that the tablet translated. "Watch. Learn. Never interfere. Until now." "What happened?" Amelia asked. "Why were you captured?" Before Lyra could answer, Olivia called out, "We're being scanned. Military ship at the edge of sensor range." Everyone went quiet. Lyra gathered her child close and her skin went completely dark. Then she began to glow again, but in a pattern Amelia hadn't seen before. It was complex and seemed to flow around the shuttle like a shield. "They've passed us by," Olivia said after a tense minute. "They didn't see us." Amelia looked at Lyra with new respect. "Your light patterns aren't just communication, are they? They're technology." Lyra's skin showed patterns that meant yes. For the next 2 days, they traveled through space. Lyra kept them hidden from searching ships and helped maintain their air supply. Amelia tried to learn more of Lyra's light language, and Lyra learned more human words through the tablet. Finally, they reached Ceres. It was a small dwarf planet, rocky and barren. A few research stations and old mining outposts dotted its surface. "I'm picking up a signal from Research Station 7, Olivia said. "That's where your friend Diane is, right?" Amelia nodded and sent a message. "Diane, it's Amelia. I need your help. Please don't tell anyone I'm here." The answer came quickly. "Land at the old mining dock on the south side. I'll meet you there. Come alone." Olivia landed the shuttle gently at the abandoned mining dock. It was old and dusty with no other ships around. "I'll stay with the shuttle," Olivia said. "You and Lyra go meet Diane, but be careful." Amelia and Lyra, carrying her child, put on spacesuits. Ceres had no air outside the stations. They walked across the rocky surface to a small airlock. A woman waited inside. Diane Wong was tall and thin with long gray hair tied back. Her eyes widened when she saw Lyra. "My God," she whispered. "It's true." Once they were inside and had removed their suits, Diane looked at Lyra with wonder. "The rumors reached even here," Diane said. "An alien ship captured in the Kuiper Belt, but I never thought—" She stopped, staring at the beautiful patterns moving across Lyra's skin. "This is incredible. She's communicating through bioluminescence." "Yes, but it's more than that," Amelia explained. "Her light patterns can do things. Hide us from sensors, create oxygen." Diane looked excited. "A technology based on light manipulation. Theoretical physics has suggested it might be possible. But to actually see it—" "Diane, focus," Amelia said. "We need your help. The military is hunting us. They were keeping Lyra and her child prisoner, running tests on them." Diane's excitement faded. "I'm sorry. Of course I'll help. This station is remote and there are only 3 other researchers here. They're all on the other side of the complex. You can stay in my private lab." Diane's lab was large with many screens and strange equipment. It had a small living area in the back with beds and a food maker. "Why did you run, Amelia?" Diane asked. "This could be the greatest scientific discovery in human history." "They separated her from her child," Amelia said firmly. "They were treating them like lab animals, not intelligent beings. It was wrong." Diane nodded slowly. "You always did have a strong sense of right and wrong." She turned to Lyra. "May I study your light language? I'm a linguist. I might be able to help you communicate better." Lyra's skin flashed a pattern that seemed like agreement. For the next few days, they stayed in Diane's lab. Olivia joined them, bringing the shuttle to a hidden dock. Diane worked with Lyra, creating a better translation program. Lyra showed them things that amazed them. She could create small objects from light, manipulate energy, and even heal small wounds. Her baby was learning too. The child's name translated roughly to Singer of New Songs, but they called her Singer for short. She played with light, making beautiful patterns that danced in the air. One night, as Singer slept, Lyra used the improved translator to tell their story. "My people travel between stars," she explained through the translator. "We observe many worlds, many species. We do not interfere. But my child is special." "Special how?" Amelia asked. Lyra's skin formed complex patterns. "My child sees, not just now, sees all times, past, present, future, all at once." Diane gasped. "She can see through time?" "Not see like I see," Lyra tried to explain. "Knows, feels, all times connected. Is that why the military wanted her?" Olivia asked. "Yes," Lyra said. "They learn this when they catch our ship. They take my child to see human future, wars, dangers, weapons." They were using her to see future threats, Amelia realized. To get military advantage. Lyra's skin darkened with what seemed like sadness. "Child sees all futures. Many paths. They only want warpaths. Only want weapons. It hurts her to show only war." Amelia felt sick. The military had been forcing an alien child to look into futures of conflict and destruction. No wonder the baby had been crying. "How did they catch you in the first place?" Diane asked. "We come too close," Lyra admitted. "My child, she wanted to see humans. She says humans important. Many futures lead through humans." Suddenly, alarms began to sound throughout the station. Diane ran to her computer. "Someone's sending a transmission to Earth military." She said, "They know you're here." Olivia grabbed her gun. We need to leave now. But Lyra's skin was flashing with urgent patterns. The translator showed. Too late, they come. But others come too. Others? Amelia asked. What others? Lyra pointed up beyond the ceiling toward the stars. My people search for us, she said simply. They come soon. Amelia stood up slowly from behind the rocks. She raised her hands to show she wasn't a threat. Admiral Voss, this is Dr. Foster. I'm coming out to talk. Please don't shoot. The military soldiers aimed their weapons at her, but Admiral Voss held up her hand to stop them. Amelia walked forward in the low gravity, each step bouncing slightly. Admiral Voss was a tall woman with short gray hair. Her face inside her helmet was hard and serious. Beside her stood Tara, looking nervous. Where are the aliens? Admiral Voss demanded. They're safe, Amelia said. And that ship up there is their rescue team. That ship is a potential threat to Earth, the Admiral replied. The Earth Defense Fleet will be here in 17 minutes. If that alien vessel doesn't leave our solar system, they will open fire. That would be a terrible mistake, Amelia said firmly. These beings aren't hostile. They've been peacefully observing many species across the galaxy. They don't interfere unless necessary. Yet here they are interfering, Admiral Voss pointed out. Only because we captured one of their scientists and her child, Amelia said, her voice rising. What did you expect them to do? Leave them in cages? Tara stepped forward. Amelia, you don't understand what's at stake. The child has abilities we need. She can see possible futures. Think of what that means for humanity. We could avoid disasters, prevent wars, prepare for threats. By forcing a child to focus only on violence and conflict, Amelia shook her head. That's not right, Tara, you know it isn't. While they talked, Lyra had risen from behind the rocks with Singer in her arms. The soldiers' weapons immediately aimed at them. Hold your fire, Admiral Voss ordered sharply. Lyra's skin glowed with complex patterns. She held out a small device she had made, a better translator. Her light speech converted to a voice. We come in peace. We always have. We watch, we learn. We do not harm. Then why have you been studying Earth? Admiral Voss demanded. We study many worlds, many peoples. Earth is interesting. Humans are at a crossroads. Many possible futures, Admiral Voss frowned. What do you mean, crossroads? Before Lyra could answer, Singer began to glow brightly. Her small form seemed to pulse with light. She made that strange musical sound again, deeper and more complex than her normal voice. Suddenly everyone there, human and alien alike, saw images in their minds. They were like visions, clear and powerful. They saw Earth in flames, ruined by war with alien races. They saw human ships attacking other worlds out of fear. They saw weapons that could destroy entire planets. Then the images changed. They saw Earth reaching out to the stars peacefully. They saw humans and aliens working together, learning from each other. They saw a future of growth and discovery. The visions faded. Everyone stood still, shocked by what they had seen. Did everyone see that? Tara asked quietly. Amelia nodded. The child showed us possible futures. 2 paths we could take. Admiral Voss looked shaken. The child can project visions to multiple people at once? That is her gift, Lyra's translator said. She sees all times, all possibilities. She can share what she sees. Our scientists only saw the war visions, Tara said, confused. We thought that was the only future. You asked only about threats, Lyra explained. She showed what you asked for. It hurt her to see only dark paths. That's why she was crying, Amelia realized. You were forcing her to focus on the worst possible futures. Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent radio message. Admiral, Earth Defense Fleet reports 10 more alien vessels have appeared at the edge of the solar system. Everyone froze. Admiral Voss touched her helmet to respond. Are they taking offensive positions? No, Admiral. They're holding position. But they've formed a line. Lyra's skin flashed with new patterns. The translator spoke. My people will not attack, but they will defend. Your choice now, humans. Admiral Voss faced a decision that would affect the future of humanity. Attack these aliens out of fear or try to communicate with them. Singer made her musical sound again. This time the vision was clearer. It showed Admiral Voss herself in 2 different futures. One where she gave the order to attack and lived to regret it, and one where she chose peace and became known as the human who helped forge first contact. The Admiral removed her helmet. Despite the cold of Ceres, she wanted them to see her face. The child can really see all possible futures? She asked. Not all, Lyra corrected. Too many to count. But important ones, yes. And in how many of these futures does attacking your people lead to a positive outcome for Earth? Admiral Voss asked directly. Singer's skin flashed with simple patterns that needed no translation. None. The Admiral was quiet for a long moment. Then she touched her radio. This is Admiral Voss to all Earth forces. Stand down. I repeat, stand down. No aggressive actions. We are attempting diplomatic contact. Amelia felt relief wash over her. It wasn't over yet, but it was a start. Lyra stepped forward, still holding Singer. Her skin glowed with warm colors. Your people and mine must talk, she said through the translator. Much to share, much to learn. I agree, Admiral Voss said. She looked at Amelia. Dr. Foster, it seems you're active. Compassion may have prevented a terrible mistake. I'm placing you in charge of the first contact team. Amelia was stunned. Me? But I broke every rule in the book. You broke rules to do what was right, the Admiral said. That's the kind of thinking we need now. Tara approached Amelia. I'm sorry I reported you. I thought I was protecting Earth. You were trying to do the right thing too, Amelia said. We just saw different paths. Above them, the giant leaf-shaped ship glowed with patterns of light communicating with the smaller ships that had arrived. The Earth Defense Fleet maintained their distance but did not power up weapons. Lyra's skin formed new patterns. The translator spoke. First step taken. Good future possible now. Singer reached out her small four-fingered hand toward Amelia. When Amelia touched it, she felt a warm connection. Not like the earlier visions, but a simple feeling of gratitude. She likes you, Lyra said. She saw you in many good futures. Is that why she wanted to come to our solar system? Amelia asked. To make sure we took the right path? Partly, Lyra admitted. My child sees your species at important turning point. What humans do next affects many worlds, many peoples. Not just your future, our future too. Admiral Voss had been listening. That's a big responsibility to place on us. All choices are big, Lyra said simply. Small kindness, she looked at Amelia, can change everything. Over the next few days, human diplomats arrived at Ceres. Proper first contact protocols were established. The alien ships, which called themselves the Lumina, sent representatives to meet with humans. Amelia worked closely with Lyra, helping humans understand the Lumina and their light-based technology. Scientists were amazed by what they learned, ways to manipulate energy, travel between stars, and even perceive time differently. But most amazing of all was Singer. The small alien child could see branching paths of possibility, stretching into the future. She helped humans understand the consequences of their choices, not by telling them what to do, but by showing them what might happen. 1 month after the standoff at Ceres, Amelia stood in a new facility built specially for diplomatic meetings. Lyra and Singer were there, along with other Lumina who had joined them. Admiral Voss and human leaders from Earth watched as the first official treaty between humans and aliens was signed. Did you ever imagine this is where we'd end up? Tara asked Amelia quietly. No, Amelia admitted. When I heard that crying through the ventilation system, all I wanted was to help a child who was suffering. Sometimes the most important moments start small, Admiral Voss said, overhearing them. One person doing what they believe is right. Lyra approached them, her skin glowing with warm colors. Singer walked beside her, no longer carried but moving on her own. The child's skin flickered with playful patterns of light. New path begun, Lyra said through her translator. Good future growing stronger. Singer made a musical sound and touched Amelia's hand. In her mind, Amelia saw a brief image. Stars spread out like a map with bright points of light where humans and Lumina worked together. She saw ships traveling between worlds, sharing knowledge and help. She's showing you her favorite future, Lyra explained. The one she hopes for most. Is it certain to happen? Amelia asked. No future is certain, Lyra said. Always changing, always choice. But this one... She looked at her child with love. This one now has strong roots. As diplomats and scientists talked around them, making plans for cooperation between their species, Amelia watched Singer playing with patterns of light. The child who had once wept in a cage now created beautiful displays that made humans gasp with wonder. Sometimes the universe turns on small moments, Amelia thought. A cry heard through a vent. A choice to help rather than harm. a willingness to see the person behind the alien face. Singer looked up at Amelia and made a sound like bells chiming. Her skin formed a pattern that the translator interpreted simply, "Thank you for hearing me." And in that moment, Amelia knew that breaking every rule had been worth it. For this child, for both their species, and for all the bright futures now possible between the stars. Diane ran to her computer and typed quickly. "I'm locking down the lab. It will buy us some time." "Who sent the message?" Amelia asked, her heart racing. "One of the other researchers must have seen you," Diane said. "The message went directly to Admiral Voss." Olivia checked her gun. "How long do we have?" "Military ships could reach Ceres in about 6 hours from their nearest base," Diane calculated. Lyra's skin flashed with urgent patterns. The translator showed, "My people closer. 3 hours. Must reach surface. Signal them." "We need a plan," Amelia said, trying to stay calm. "If we can get to the shuttle, we might be able to hide somewhere else on Ceres until Lyra's people arrive." A new message appeared on Diane's screen. Diane read it and her face went pale. "It's from Kimberly Novak," she said. "She says she's an intelligence officer who's been helping you?" "I don't know any Kimberly," Amelia said, confused. "I do," Olivia admitted. "She's been giving us military patrol schedules. She's on our side." Diane read the message. "Strike team already dispatched from Mars base when alien energy signature was detected. ETA 30 minutes. Admiral Voss leading personally. Get out now." 30 minutes, Amelia gasped. "That's not possible." "They must have been closer than we thought," Olivia said grimly. "Maybe already searching this area." Lyra touched Amelia's hand. The familiar electric feeling passed between them and Amelia saw images. A great ship hidden behind Ceres. Human soldiers boarding smaller ships heading toward them. "She's right," Amelia said. "They're almost here. We need to move now." They quickly gathered what they needed. Diane downloaded the translation program and research data. Olivia checked the station's sensors. "I can see them," she said. 3 military shuttles approaching the south dock where our shuttle is. "They've cut us off from escape," Diane said. Lyra's skin formed urgent patterns. The translator showed other way. "North airlock. Need to reach surface." "There's nothing at the north airlock," Diane protested. "Just open ground." "We'd be exposed." "Trust her," Amelia said. "Her people are coming." They moved through the station quickly, avoiding the main corridors. They heard voices and footsteps, other researchers being questioned by military personnel. They reached the north airlock and put on spacesuits. Singer, Lyra's child, was small enough to fit inside Lyra's suit with her. "Once we're outside, stay low and head for those large rocks," Olivia instructed. "They'll provide some cover." They cycled through the airlock and stepped onto the surface of Ceres. The landscape was gray and rocky, with black sky above filled with stars. They moved as quickly as they could in the low gravity, jumping from rock to rock. Behind them, alarms sounded at the research station. They had been discovered. "They'll be right behind us," Diane warned. Lyra stopped and looked up at the stars. Her skin glowed with intense patterns that seemed to pulse outward. She was sending a signal. "Movement at the station," Olivia warned. "They're coming out!" They could see figures in military spacesuits emerging from the airlock they had just used. "Run," Amelia shouted. They ran as best they could in the spacesuits in low gravity, bouncing across the rocky surface. Lyra moved gracefully despite her height and the extra weight of her child. They reached a cluster of large rocks and hid behind them. Olivia looked back and counted. 12 soldiers plus someone who must be Admiral Voss, she reported. "And someone else. It looks like Dr. Maxwell, your mentor." "Tara is here?" Amelia was shocked. "Why would they bring her?" "Probably to talk you into surrendering," Diane guessed. Their suit radios crackled and a stern voice came through. "Dr. Foster, this is Admiral Voss. We know you're out there. Return the specimens immediately and we can discuss terms." Amelia didn't respond. She looked at Lyra, whose skin was still pulsing with signals to the stars. The radio crackled again. "Amelia, it's Tara. Please listen to me. What you've done is dangerous. These beings have abilities we don't understand. The child especially poses risks you can't imagine." Amelia finally responded. "The only risk was keeping them prisoner, Tara. They're peaceful. They were just watching us until we captured them." "Watching us?" Tara's voice rose. "They've been monitoring Earth for weaknesses. The child can see possible futures, Amelia. Do you understand what that means?" They know our vulnerabilities, our future conflicts. They're gathering intelligence. No, Amelia argued. They observe many species. They don't interfere. Then why were they in our solar system? Admiral Voss cut in. Return them now or face charges of high treason. Suddenly, Singer made a strange musical sound. It wasn't her usual voice. It was deeper, more complex. Lyra's skin flashed with surprise. What's happening? Amelia asked. The translator struggled with Lyra's rapid light patterns, but managed. She sees. The moment comes. The crossroads. The ground beneath them vibrated slightly. At first, Amelia thought it was the military approaching. But then the vibration grew stronger. Diane checked her suit's sensors. Something big is entering Ceres orbit. Really big? Lyra's skin glowed with joy. The translator showed, "My people come." The military had detected it too. Their radio chatter became urgent. Admiral Voss was ordering them to secure the aliens immediately. The sky above them changed. Something vast moved between them and the stars. A ship larger than anything humans had built. It was shaped like a giant leaf glowing with the same patterns that moved across Lyra's skin. My God, Diane whispered. It's beautiful. But the military saw only a threat. Their radio chatter became frantic as they called for backup. Earth. Defense fleet alerted. Someone reported to Admiral Voss. They're dispatching all available ships. Amelia realized with horror what was happening. They're treating this as an invasion. Lyra touched Amelia's hand again. This time, the images were clear. 2 fleets, human and alien, meeting in battle above Ceres. Death. Destruction. A war that would spread through the solar system. But then the images shifted. The same 2 fleets, meeting in peace, communication, learning, a future of cooperation and growth. The crossroads, Amelia whispered, understanding now what Lyra meant. Singer made that strange musical sound again. Her small form glowed brightly inside Lyra's suit. What is she doing? Diane asked. Seeing all possible futures, Amelia realized, and trying to find the path to peace. The military was getting closer. They could see the soldiers moving from rock to rock, surrounding their position. Suddenly, a beam of light shot down from the alien ship, illuminating the area around them. It wasn't a weapon. It seemed to be a communication. The ground shook again as the beam touched down. The military soldiers stopped, uncertain what to do. Admiral Voss's voice came over the radio again. Dr. Foster, this is your last chance. Earth Defense Fleet will be here in minutes. If these aliens don't stand down, they'll be fired upon. Amelia looked at Lyra, whose skin was forming urgent patterns. The translator showed, must speak to both sides. You must speak, Amelia. Human to human. I will speak ship to ship. They want me to be a go-between, Amelia told the others, to prevent a war. You? Diane asked. Why you? Lyra's skin answered before Amelia could. Because she saw us as people, not things. The child saw her in many good futures. Amelia took a deep breath. This was bigger than her now. Bigger than all of them. I'll do it, she said. What do I need to say? Singer's musical voice rose again, and Lyra translated. Tell them we see all paths. War is one. Peace is another. Their choice now. The military was closing in. The giant alien ship hovered above. And somewhere out in space, the Earth Defense Fleet was racing toward them, weapons ready. The future hung in the balance, all because one human couldn't bear to see a mother and child kept in cages.